That's not a good thing. That's not good at all. That should look like that, and it looks like this. Well, let's see if we can get something planted before all that rain comes. Our first field of 2024, we'll be doing some no-till bean on bean. So I'll explain when we get back in the tractor. Welcome back to another episode of Dirt, Grain, Steel. Well, I started planting my ends, and I realized that my marker track is not very definite. I can barely see it. So when we get up to the truck, we're going to adjust that and fix that, because this chickweed's pretty heavy in this farm, and there are some like wild oats or something growing on that end, and I can't hardly see it through them. So we're going to readjust our marker blades, make them a little more aggressive, and get a little more definite mark. Planter's planting it just fine though. I'm not worried about, you know, seed depth and covering. I've got out several times and everything looks really good. I am planting 2 inches deep. I use the setting seed to set the planter. I did a video on that last spring. So if you're interested in a setting seed, it's a great product, works really good. Just put it on top of the floor jack, hold your row unit up, set your row unit, and you're done. That way it compensates for any wear that your depth stops might have in your row unit. Just because you have your notches set with your handle for 2 inches deep doesn't mean that your row unit isn't worn and it's going deeper than that. So the setting seed takes that variable out of it. And no, I'm not paid by setting seed. I just know a good product when I see one. Yeah, you could make one out of 2x4s and plywood, but I really like the plastic that the setting seed's made out of. Yeah, we need to get that marker track a little more definite. I don't quite like that. Keeps wanting to rain, spits on and off. I had a couple row units I had to get out and mess around with, because they kept saying they were failed on the monitor. Got them bugs worked out. So far, so good. So the way we're going to solve this problem is we're going to take our Milwaukee Impact, loosen those up. We're going to kick it back like so. Tighten it back up. Let's try that and see how it works. So this is our last pass. This is before we adjusted the marker. Now I got it readjusted, so we'll see what it looks like on the next pass over. Definitely flipping a lot more dirt, cutting through the trash a lot better, so I'll be able to see a lot better now. I'll show you when we go back the other way. So this is beans on beans, and I mentioned that when we were filling the planter. The reason that is because the neighbors wanted to plant seed corn, and our rotation did not match their rotation. So that would have been having us this year have corn on this farm, and then they would be having seed corn on their farm, and that could cause an issue. That can cause cross-pollination of the two corns, and that's no good for seed corn. So they came to us, and they told us that if we would plant another crop of soybeans on this, that they would supply the seed for the beans. So we agreed that we would do it, and we would put beans on beans. So this is a Bex number soybean. This is a very nematode resistant soybean, so that it can be planted bean on bean and still yield very well. So I'll show you what number this bean is when we get back to the truck later. A bunch of planting, and then I'll come back with the Wilmar sprayer and I will spray all this, everything that I planted. My goal is to plant like 100 acres and then go back and spray 100 acres. So we'll see how that works out, because we're going to do a lot of our own spraying this year since we've got the Wilmar going. It's ready to roll. The reason we weren't using it was because we were waiting on a flow control valve for it. The old Midtronic system, it was hard to get the flow control valve that worked with all that. Or Midtech, I'm sorry, not Midtronic, Midtech. So we ended up stripping all the old Midtech controls off of it, and we put a Ravens monitor with all Ravens controls on it, stuff that is easy to get our hands on. We get it through Kelly Engineering. They've got everything in stock that we would ever need for it, so it made it very convenient to get parts. So now with that new spray system, we can do all of our own spraying. It's going to work out real nice. That is much better. That marker track is so definite now that Ray Charles could even see it. So I had to readjust my markers last spring because when I planted the plow day field, it was so soft that they were digging pretty big ditches through the field. So I had to detune them a little bit and make them so they weren't so aggressive. Well, now that we're back in the no-till, they need to be aggressive. It's got some grass right there, so they're not as great, but hey, I can still see them. Now I know everybody's going to say in the comments, well, if you would run auto steer, you wouldn't have to worry about markers. I think even if I ran auto steer, I would still run markers just to check the auto steer once in a while, just to make sure it's staying accurate. And I know some guys that do that. I think it's crazy that some guys will buy a brand new planter and not even order markers with it or take them off right away. Because, you know, like the other day we were having them solar flares and all that stuff, and it was affecting GPS and auto steer. And, you know, why park the tractor when you could flip a marker out and keep going? That's my thought. Just leave them on there. You have to add weight to the ends of the planter anyways to no-till with it, because you've taken the weight of the markers off. So you might as well just leave them on there. What are they hurting? Just leave them on there for the ride. I can see if you get some money knocked off when you buy a planter without them, but if you buy a planter and take them off and put them in the shed, it's just one more thing to stack up in the shed. Leave it on the planter. It's not hurting anything. Now, that's just my thoughts. Looks pretty good. That dark cloud back there don't look very good. That don't look too promising. And it's starting to sprinkle again. Well, I'm officially rained out. It's just raining too much. Things are getting too muddy. Row 13 keeps failing. There's something wrong with that radial bean meter. I don't know what's going on with it. It's raining too hard to dump the beans out in something so I can address the issue. I don't want to get my seat all wet. So time to park the tractor for the day. It's already 4:30 anyways, so oh well. Hopefully tomorrow's a better day. I was hoping to get up to the 2 center pivots in this field that are in the center and at least get them moving on to this side so I can plant past them. but that's just not going to happen. So we'll try again tomorrow. I'll bring a couple buckets, dump that row unit out, see what's going on with that bean meter. We'll tear it apart and see what the problem is. It keeps getting stuck for some reason, and I cannot figure out why. It's got the box is like 3/4 of the way full, so it's kind of hard to handle it with that many soybeans in it. So what I do is I'll flip them up, and then I'll get them sitting on top of the other boxes and lay them on their sides and take them apart. And I took it apart, and I can't figure out what's going on with it, so I just need to empty it out. I don't know if it's got something in it or what the deal is, but we'll figure it out tomorrow. Well, I got in the truck just in time because it started raining real hard. It lit up there for a little bit, and it was kind of promising that maybe it was going to stop and I was going to be able to continue on planting once I got row 13 working again, but it's not going to lit up. So I'm kind of doubtful if I'm going to get to plant tomorrow, but we'll see what happens. So here's my list of different numbers of soybeans, and we are planting the 2550 E3s in this field right here. These are the ones that have the good cyst protection on them for beans on beans, and this is actually my whole list of beans I'm going to be planting this spring. So Sarah at M&R Ag Service prints these out, and they're really nice to go by. They make recommendations on which fields by soil type and conditions on what to plant where, and it's pretty nice having these. Well, it is the next day, and it quit raining overnight, and field conditions look pretty promising. So we're going to I got Scooter here with me, that's why I said we're going to try to figure out what's going on with row 13. So we got it dumped out, got all the beans out of the meter. And this is the radial bean meter. This is what meters the beans out of the planter. And I think what we've came up with is the brush is actually junk. And the brush is what actually keeps the beans in the meter and not anywhere else in where they can get pinched and everything else. And what's happening is with that brush being messed up, they're getting pinched in there, and they're just getting all bound up, and they're causing an issue. So this is a new brush. The unfortunate part is these are $111 a piece times 23. So that's a little over $2,500 to put all new brushes in this planter. So for now, we are going to put this one in and see if this solves our problem, and it'll get me going again. They were short this brush right here. They didn't have this one, so we'll see how this goes. We'll see if this is enough to get me going. And then we also got the new seed drive, because as you can see, this is not springy the way it should be. There are some little springs in there, and they do get a little bound up because the grease gets old. You should tear these apart every once in a while and put some new grease in and check the springs, because sometimes the springs are broken. But in the case of this one, it's starting to wear this aluminum housing it's in. It's getting loose, and it's just not right. So I'm going to go ahead and throw a new one of them on. So Scooter and I are going to get this brush changed out, and we'll show you how to do it. All right, so we're going to get this screw out of here. Get this brush out. Well, so if this brush looks like this, we need to check the rest of them, because I got a feeling they all look pretty bad. Oops. Oh, I'll just... Alright, that sits in there like so. Or did I just break it? I don't know. Then these just pop in there like so. Now this is the first time I've ever rebuilt one, so I'm not exactly sure. I've always used Kinsey brush meters, or just the regular the bean cups for like John Deere 7000 planter. So this is all new to me. Should probably educated myself a little bit, but hey, you learn by tearing stuff apart and getting into it. It's just nuts and bolts, right?
Right.
So Well, that was fairly simple. Now we gotta figure out our brush. I think it just sits in there like so. And this sits in here. Like that. This should just lock all that back in somehow. Well, maybe. Like that. Other way, yeah. You're right, Scooter. Can't believe that's all it holds in there is that one screw.
Right.
Oh, I see how it goes. It locks in the front. It goes in there like that. Where'd the brush go? And then you swing it inwards. There we go, and it pinches all that. Well, it's supposed to anyways. It's something how the simplest things can just get me. What is going on there? It's gonna go down in there. There we go. Oh, look at there. I got it. Now where'd the screw go?
Right there.
Oh, there it is. Sometimes I think my kindergartner teacher was right. I would never have good motor skills. Or good eye-hand coordination is what she said. That's what she told my parents. There we go. Now, there it is. Put this back in here somehow. Gotta set it on B. So there's 3 adjustments for different seed size. We need to run it on B. There's little indicators here. The way you set that is you look in the book and it tells you how many seeds per pound is to what to set that to. Now we're going to change this out. What actually drives it. That's a new one. Must be a burr in the shaft. There we go. It's going. Well, I thought it was going to go. There we go. Now we can put all this back together, Scooter. Alright. Well, that definitely fixed row 13. That was the issue with it. That brush being junk. So now I got to order some more brushes. Might as well order them all for the whole planter because now it's just going to be a chain reaction from here on out. And it'll keep the rest of the planter accurate. But at least I don't have to sit here and listen to the monitor fail. And get out every other round and get it moving again. Weather today. Seems nice for now. It's supposed to rain this afternoon. We'll see what happens. But I at least want to get this farm done and out of the way. I kind of Kind of like this farm because it's by the airport. The runway's just right over there. So you get to see airplanes come and go. You get to see the helicopters come and go. It's pretty cool. So the Stark County Airport isn't like a large airport like you would see in like Chicago or South Bend. This is just I guess they call it a municipal airport. So there's like private airplanes. Sometimes there's crop dusters once in a while. There's guys with those paraplanes and power parachutes that fly around here. Pretty neat to be this close to an airport though. Never know what you're gonna see. I've seen some old biplanes. I've seen some private jets. Kind of cool. And it's really pretty at night when all the lights are on. Reminds me of that Gary Allen song. I'm just sitting out here watching airplanes take off and land. much of this field now. We got the pivots moved out of the way, got planted under them. Dad and Scooter and George showed up, and they moved them for me. Well, Scooter was already here, but Scooter got some good video outside the tractor. All we got left is just that over there. I'm done with this farm. So no more row units giving me fits. Things are running smooth. Need to come trim them trees around that pivot pad. Done here, and then I've got some sand fields that I can go plant. Try to see what we can get done today. Well, I'm down to my last pass here, and the planter's about empty, so that means the population is pretty darn close on the planter. Close enough for soybeans. Supposed to take 90 units to plant this farm, and I put two pro boxes in the seed tender before we left the shop, so that gives me 90 units, and the planter's about empty, so that worked out great. So we're gonna get done here and we'll head to the next one. Well, we're gonna load up some more beans here in the seed tender. So far in this video, we have planted 90 acres of soybeans between yesterday and today. Yesterday I got a late start, so we'll see how many more I can get planted today. These next fields we're going to, they're fairly small fields, so it's going to be a lot of moving around. That'll work, George. Oh, a little dirt fell in there. That's all right. Well, I got a good start on this farm. There's only 17 acres here, so it won't take me very long to plant this one. Between this one and the other two, there's about 81 acres. So we filled the planter good and full. So I should be able to plant all those acres without filling again. So we'll see what happens. This is no-till into corn stalks. It's going really well. Stalks are pretty rotten, so they're chewing right up under the planter. So that's a good thing. Well, we got this 17 acres done. Time to move on to the next one. Go ahead and fold our planter here. Raise our hitch, unlock our hitch. And we'll go ahead and we'll bring our wings around. Oh, not quite enough yet. You got to raise it so high so it'll unhook the latches. There we go. Leave the tractor in neutral so it rolls. Now we can put that hitch down a little bit. Just like so. Bring them around. Easy. Looks like we got to bring our hitch down just a little more. Bring those in like so, raise our hitch back up, and it hooks the wings, picks them up, and then we just have to go ahead and raise our wing wheels up. Don't want to go too high with them, or else they push the wings back out of the hooks. So now we're ready to go down the road. Well, we're at a totally new farm to us. So let's go ahead and put our wing wheels down. Drop our hitch. Just like that. Go ahead and start unfolding. Planter pull us back. And the latches latch. Finish putting the hitch all the way down. Make sure it goes. Oh, I hit the wrong way. There we go. Make sure those hooks latch on there. There we go. Bring them back up. All right. Back to plant mode. Time to start planting. Well, I got started here and something just didn't seem right. So I come back here and I had some corn stalks wedged in some gauge wheels and they weren't turning properly. Well, I got to looking. I was walking back to the tractor and that's not a good thing. That's not good at all. That should look like that, and it looks like this. So I have to go get the side-by-side and go look for a gauge wheel assembly. Oh, that's not good. Hopefully I can find it. Well, I wonder where it's at. I guess I'll just start over here at the fence row and just start driving my passes until I find it. It's on the outside, on the left-hand side of the tractor. It's the second row in. So that would be right over here somewhere. I guess I'll drive until I find it. It's got to be here somewhere. Unless it grew legs and walked off. When I find it. Well, we're right back from where we started from, the airport field. So I drove the whole 17 acres, couldn't find my gauge wheel. Cannot believe that I did not realize it was on the planter until when I did. But here it lays, out here in the airport field. Hey, at least the bolt's still with it. The bolt backed out. That's what happened. So I can go throw it back on. I should be able to plant some more. But good thing I got the Honda Pioneer, because that would have been a lot of walking or a lot of driving with a truck. And it was very convenient to just jump in the Pioneer and just keep following the marker tracks. Well, actually, I kind of looked at which way the trash was leaning as to what side I needed to look on for the gauge wheel. So that worked out real well. I found it. Didn't take me all that long to find it, but still inconvenient. So just out retracing my steps. All right, I'll take this back and put it back on the planter. The thing is, with them row units as close as they are together on the 1780, you don't really pay that much attention to all the wheels, because there's not that much space to look between the row units to see them. So just kind of walking up and putting seed in it, you're not really paying attention to any of that. So that's kind of what happened there. I guess what I'm gonna have to do is just start inspecting the planter after every field that I've been in to make sure that all my parts are present, so I don't have to keep looking for them. I am going to go back and check and make sure that all them bolts are snug in all those gauge wheel arms, just to be on the safe side. Alright, rookie mistake, I guess. Should have done some inspecting before I left, but it's something you don't think about. You just fold up and take off and go to the next field. So I am human, I make mistakes. Well, we got a good start on this new farm here. This new farm's 37 acres. It's broke up in 3 different fields. We are in the largest of the fields now, as you can see. We've always farmed the farm over next to it, and then this one came up for rent this year. And the owners of this one really wanted us to farm it since we're the neighbors to it. So we said we would take it on. It's not a a bad farm. So it's close to home. Things are going good so far, but I'm not going to hit my goal that I had today. I wanted to get 80 some acres planted, but that ain't going to happen. But we got some good video. So I'm probably going to go ahead and edit this up tonight so I can get it put on YouTube. Well, that's going to be it for today. We had a good day though. Got the rest of the airport planted, and then got that 17 acres done. And then I would say this is probably, there's probably 25 acres here. So I had a good day. But it's just raining too hard. I'm going to have to quit. The planter's starting to get pretty nasty. It's getting a lot of mud thrown up on the row units, so better just quit while we're ahead. Oh, I've got my side-by-side here. I gotta drive home. I don't have no windows. I have a windshield, but I don't have no side windows. Probably gonna get a little wet on the way home. But anyways, thank you for watching. Greatly appreciate it. We'll see you all in the next one. Thanks for watching.